can no longer hide what they're making. And they can finally begin to pay their fair share of what they owe. That isn't about raising their taxes. It's about the super wealthy finally beginning to pay what they owe.
That was Joe Biden earlier this week outlining his plan to raise taxes on what he says will only be the ultra wealthy. It's an aggressive plan that involves a massive increase in the size of the IRS. Of course, that's what we need, more tax collectors bleeding us dry. Joining us now to dig into the details, author of In Trump Time, a Journal of America's Plague, former White House trade advisor under Trump, Peter Navarro joins us. Always good to see you, my friend. Look, this will be the largest tax increase since LBJ, going all the way back to the 1960s. This president envisions himself as LBJ. If LBJ could speak from the grave, I'm sure he'd be telling him, please, Mr. President, cease and desist, because history shows us this didn't work out too kindly for the American people.
Yeah, can you imagine, Joe, if Biden had run on a platform of making the IRS bigger? I mean, what can go wrong there? Look, Joe, his approval rating is plummeting. It's circling around the drain right now. It's gone from over 50 down to 40. It's going to be in the 30s soon. He's just trying to throw a little red meat to the base. But how stupid is this guy? He's like, oh, yeah, tax the rich. At the same time, he's doing a message of, yeah, let's make the IRS bigger. You know who they're coming for? They're coming for the small businesses and the middle class.
Well, to that point, Peter, your point, you look at what happens with the IRS. You know, the disproportionate amount of those audits that the IRS does comes from those black belt counties in the South. Those are predominantly African-American counties. These same people on the left who tell us that we have a government that systemically targets African-American communities just are fighting to empower the one actual access department in government that historically targets disproportionately black people. So I don't understand how they're arguing that this is going to be good for the working man. The working man is always the person that gets stuck with the short end of the stick when it comes to the IRS.
Note to Joe Biden, the Trump administration, which I was proud to be part of, we were very proud that African-American wages and blue-collar wages disproportionately rose in real terms on our watch. You know what's happening now, Joe? The people bearing the brunt of all the things that are going wrong with Joe Biden's economic plan and his pandemic mismanagement, it's blacks, browns, and blue-collar folks. And this is just wrong. I'm telling you, Joe, there's only one thing we have to fight right now, and it's three things as a bundle. We have a chance for victory here. They got this continuing resolution coming up at the end of September, where they got all sorts of bells and whistles and stuff. They want to pass that and just flood our nation with more illegal immigration, all sorts of things. They want to raise the debt ceiling. If they can raise the debt ceiling, then they go ahead and pass that $3.5 trillion package to nowhere. Joe Biden must recognize that, and you and I have talked about this, Joe, stagflation is coming at us hard. That's what we need to focus on, not any of this political rhetoric that Biden's coming out with right now.
Well, to that point, you talk about how this all impacts the common man. Consumer prices are on the rise. Wall Street Journal reporting the consumer price index rose 5.3% from a year before as supplies and labor continue to drive up prices. In what world does raising taxes help lower prices when we always know, inevitably, those prices, those taxes get passed on to the cost of the person at the cash register?
Biden's spending so much money now that is driving inflation up. As you know, Joe, inflation is the cruelest tax because it falls disproportionately on the middle class and the poor. That's what's going on right now. When I was in the Trump administration, and thanks for plugging my In Trump Time book, I got a whole section in there about how during the campaign in 2016, we had a vision of lowering the corporate income tax, not to benefit the corporations, but to give the appropriate signals for them to invest here on American soil so we could make blue-collar manufacturing jobs. Biden just doesn't understand any kind of economics. Hey, Joe, remember this. The 8 years of Obama-Biden was one of the biggest moves in the distribution of wealth to the wealthy from the middle class and the poor that we've ever seen in our history. So this guy gets into office and he's talking that smack. That doesn't work with me.
Absolutely. You talk about these increases. We've got food prices soaring. Anybody with half a brain knows that's a bad thing, but somehow the Biden administration, they don't think so. Take a listen.
About half of the overall increase in grocery prices can be attributed to a significant increase in prices in three products, in beef, in pork, and in poultry. If you take out those three categories, we've actually seen price increases that are more in line with historical norms.
Yeah.
What does he think? What does he think people are eating?
Joe.
I mean, look, I don't know. I mean, you have to be really inside the Beltway. Most people are not vegan or vegetarian. 90% of the American public depends on meat, poultry as some basic form of protein. They seem to just want to throw that out and act as if this is an illusion, an optical illusion. I don't know what to do here. This doesn't make any sense. And no one seems to look them in the eye and say, respectfully, you're lying to the American people.
Well, I think there's a lot of buyer's remorse now in election where I still don't believe he got 80 million votes. And just look at his approval rating. He'll be in the 30s. I predict Biden will be gone within 12 months. I mean, between the dementia and the cough and the bad policies, he's going to kind of take a graceful exit out. But then what? And we got Kamala Harris and her progressive policies. I mean, this is insanity. I think, well, here's the most important thing, Joe. It's like right now, the Republicans got to get spine. All those rhinos in the Senate, they've got to say one word to the Democrats right now, and they got to say it 3 times. No to the CR, no to the debt ceiling limit, and no to this crazy $3.5 trillion package. Too many rhinos in the Republican Party playing along in this town. We cannot let Joe Biden and his party destroy the American economy. They're doing it before our very eyes.
Absolutely. I mean, if you really sit here and look at this, I mean, they're trying to spend $3.5 trillion. It makes absolutely no sense. They're trying to tax drug companies, in some cases, if they don't comply, to the tune of 95%, and somehow think that that's not going to lead to the increase in the drug prices that everyone across the political spectrum knows we need to find a way somehow to get down. We're in Alice in Wonderland right now, Pete. I could do this all day with you. We have to go pay some bills. But as always, my friend, good talking to you. God bless. Talk to you again soon.
Always a pleasure, Joe. You're the man.
All right.
Hi, Emma Reckenberg here. If you like this video, there's a whole lot more to see on Newsmax TV. You can watch for free right here on our YouTube live stream and be the first one here each time our experts break down real news. Just hit that subscribe button, ring the bell icon, and stay with us on America's fastest growing cable news channel, Newsmax TV.